Can you explain where your pain is for me?
I get pain in here quite often. It always used to be that side. Now it's transferred over to this side. I get knife pain inside, almost like in between the joints. It feels like a hot knife twisting or whatever. But over the last 6 months I've had pain starting from here, travelling down, and also I've had a burning sensation in my ankle. And I hadn't been doing exercises because the swelling was counteracting what I would have done in the gym. They are suggesting like a half knee, so I'm like, I don't really want any surgery at the moment, thanks.
What do you think at the moment your knee, with the symptoms that you're getting, is stopping you from doing?
A lot. I mean, I try not to, but as I know, as soon as I do anything, it's like I go off shooting in the winter, so I'm up and down the hills and ducking down under stuff, and I know the afternoon and the next day I'm pretty non-functional really. So.
And what about normal activities of a day?
After a while, I get achy and I'm limping more, and it's just I just take it as because it's been so long.
Can you describe the pain that you were having before you put the unloader brace on?
Yes, I can. It was various pains really. It could describe it certainly at night time as a deep-seated ache, almost like a toothache. If you were walking around, or certainly if you were walking downstairs, it was a very, very intense, sharp pain, almost a stabbing type pain. And at that, when you got that sort of distinct pain, your knee potentially at certain times would give way as well. So that was, and it was quite an intense pain.
You mentioned that you've got the pain in the knee. Can you describe that to me?
Yeah, it's almost like someone has got a pen or a pencil trying to push it into the joint of the knee. So it's that intense pain. Sometimes you get a generalised pain. Actually, when the weather's damp, it seems to be worse. That's psychological, but it certainly seems worse. But it's almost like someone is almost trying to close the joint up or force it open even. So it's that intense pain right in one particular point of the knee.
How is that presenting with regards to function, activities, that type of thing?
I find it difficult to kneel. I've always been very, very good DIY, the my own house and my daughter's houses. Now DIY's had to stop because I can't physically get onto the floor and get off the floor easily without an incredible amount of pain.
And what about things like stairs?
Going upstairs is not a problem. Coming down the stairs, I tend to have to come down one step at a time. Whereas going up the stairs, it's alternate the stairs, but coming down, it's one step at a time.
And how have you found your mobility over the last 6-7 years?
It's deteriorated quite significantly, really. I mean, we used to walk every night, probably a couple of 3 miles every night, but now 200 or 300 yards and I'm in a lot of pain now.
And what would your main goals of the brace be?
Mobility, really, to be able to be more mobile at the moment and to try and offset the knee to give me more pain relief.
Great. Are you taking anything for pain control at the moment?
I take diclofenac, but I try and limit the diclofenac to 1 a day because I've been on it the best part of 6 years now.
Can you explain that type of pain that you had on a bad day?
The only way I can describe it is like putting your hand in a vice and tightening it and keep tightening it, and then when it's tight, tighten it again. And that is the sort of pain, because it's not a sharp, sudden pain, it's a constant nagging, but worse than nagging was what I'm looking for. It's excruciating, and it affects everything. It affects your attitude to people. The psychological effect, I think, was actually worse than the physical. The pain was bad enough, but suddenly going from being very active to like couldn't walk the dog on the beach, couldn't go upstairs without being in pain. I tried being depressed once, I didn't like it, but I think it's the closest I came to being depressed, because you just literally couldn't do anything, and that for me was quite hard.
Before the brace,
Yes.
You mentioned that you were on painkillers, analgesics. Do you remember what you were taking?
Yes, I had a wide selection available, from paracetamol to cocodamol, 8, 15 and 30 milligrams. On a bad day, you'd be on 30 milligrams plus tramadol, and anything else.
Did you find that controlled your pain, taking the analgesics?
No, not really. It masked it. It sort of... I'm not a great lover of painkillers because if your body is in pain, it's telling you there's something wrong. And at the end of the day, all you're doing is masking the pain. What other damage am I doing?
The pain that you get, can you describe that to me?
Yeah, it's on the inside of my knee, obviously where I'm aware that my cartilage is. To touch, it's very tender. And then if I'm working or walking, say, for a long time, it starts to ache. I can get sharp twinges throughout my knee. I get a sense of locking if I just move a slightly awkward way, my knee will lock and fix and I have to just move myself about to get it off. But yeah, it's more the uncomfortable, just constant uncomfortable and uneasiness of it.
Has your knee pain impacted on your normal activities?
Yeah, because it stops me riding sometimes, and I've got 3 horses of my own to compete, so I do it quite competitively. I've been off work quite a lot with it because I have to be fit to be able to do my duties, I have to be fit in case of an emergency to be able to run and be active on it. So it has affected my day-to-day life quite a lot.
And the main reason that you're having the brace, would you say it's pain relief, function, mobility?
Pain relief more so, yeah. A bit of functioning as well because it does stop me, but more so it stops me because of the pain. So hopefully the pain is subsided, I can carry on.
Can you describe the pain that you were in the beginning of this year?
Beginning of this year, my knee was consistently swollen, almost to like somebody put a balloon underneath the surface. My distance of walking would have been a mile at the most. If the knee was touched, knocked, it was painful to the touch. Standing, general, just getting up and about making coffees, teas in the house, you'd just step a certain way and it was unbearable. It was psychological because at the end of the day I was always nervous thinking I won't be able to do my job. I work with a certain set of officers and you always think I'm going to let them down. But at the end of the day, I thought at the end of the day, the organisation might get rid of me.
Okay, can you tell me about your pain?
I have a bad knee just here,
Okay.
which comes from when I apparently tore some cartilage doing a urban assault course in Cardiff.
Obviously you've mentioned that you're limited on the stairs and certainly the knee pain has stopped your normal pattern on the stairs. Is there anything else that it has stopped you from doing?
It stopped me from exercising, as in any sort of running, jumping, hopping, skipping. Sitting cross-legged I couldn't do for a long time, but I can do that again now. I pretend I can kneel on it and I pretend I'm jumping, but actually I'm not, I'm just using the other leg.
So is your main goal pain orientated or function, Bristol 10k, Tough Mudder?
I can put up with pain. I do put up with pain. It's to get active again and feel like I'm myself again rather than somebody that just moans about their tiny little knee that's really very insignificant to a lot of things a lot of people have got going on. So yeah, that's it. Run.
Okay, and I know it was a long time ago, but do you remember the pain that you were in prior to having the brace?
It was a very, very sharp pain when you went to twist down the medial side, and at night when you'd sort of been on it all day, you got a dull, gnawing pain. I said it was most likely like shutting your fingers in a door or toothache. And when you used to walk without the brace, you'd get that sort of pinching feeling actually in the medial joint. So that's why I decided I needed to do something about it.
And what were your expectations of the brace?
To keep me going as long as possible to get through to the end of the teaching career, so I didn't stop work before I felt I wanted to.
Okay. Did you have any surgery planned at all? No.
I was trying to avoid surgery.
Okay. And obviously it had an impact on your work in school. Did it have any impact in any other area?
I stopped playing hockey.
Okay.
And I stopped running, seriously.
If you move weight side to side, you can feel...
That didn't hurt. No, that didn't hurt. Actually doesn't hurt at all.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Does it feel different?
Very different,
Yeah.
but it doesn't. There's no pain there.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Good, you're welcome.
After the first time I put it on, it was a sort of moment where you thought, you waited for the pain, which you get used to a certain level of pain, and when that pain isn't there within a couple of seconds, it sort of takes your breath away a little bit. So I was a bit sort of apprehensive of how bulky these would be, because having obviously to wear trousers for work, you don't want something that looks fairly obvious. And on looking at the brace, my first impression was it was very light in weight, and once it was applied on and putting the trousers on over the top, there was nothing that looked obvious. So for me, it was a nice, comfortable and aesthetically looking.
Having had the unloader on, do you experience any pain since having it?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't get any pain.
Well, I'm absolutely amazed. It's the first time I've walked normally in 5 years. It is so comfortable. It is no pain there whatsoever. Absolutely amazed.
Brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic, yeah. I can't get over it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I'll lead with this leg again. And absolutely no pain whatsoever. Like I've never got a problem.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, that's it, great.
Perfect.
All right.
And since wearing the brace, have you had any feeling of instability since?
No, it's totally changed everything. I can walk, I can cycle, we have 2 allotments, so I go down on the allotment I dig, I go to the gym. It actually, the quality of my life started to come back to sort of normal-ish. So it made a big difference. With it, I'm not on the level of painkillers I was on. I can go probably, truthfully, I probably have 1 or 2 painkillers a week now, where I was on at one point 8 a day. So for me, it's made a massive, massive difference.
And without wearing the brace, where do you think you would be now?
If I don't wear this, I will go a day at the most, and then the pain starts. And then if you don't put it back on, the pain just starts to get worse and worse and worse, and you're back to where I was originally.
So weight onto the right first of all, and just see how that feels.
It's nice to be able to just not have to think and be like, you say, oh no, right, it's your bad leg, so lead with your good leg or your bad leg, as you do. It's always the leaving it behind. No, it's didn't even think then, and I just automatically went with my leg that I would do everything else with.
Yeah.
As opposed to feeling, right, no, that's your bad leg, so you know you've got to go down with that leg.
How's it feel?
Yeah, it feels different in terms of, again, I get that feeling of when I'm leading and put my foot down and my legs being adjusted, but adjusted for the right reason, as in it's not actually, it's being moved over, but whereas before I'd leave it and try and get away from the pain, that uncomfortableness and the achiness I tend to get, that's not there. It's more of a case of, it's just for me, it feels, I'm walking and I'm like, oh, my leg's being pushed over a bit, but it says that it's comfortable. Yeah, I'm not getting, say before when I'm turning and things, I'm usually aware of it clicking, I'm usually aware of it locking or something, whereas I'm quite happy I'm moving about now and I'm not getting any sense of the locking.
Yeah.
Again, twisting, like that's on the plane, so it's nice to be able to do it actually.
And what were your expectations prior to having the brace?
Having tried various means of bracing and strapping to my knee, from sports bracings, with neoprene straps, metal bar supports, etc. A bit apprehensive, really apprehensive to see whether or not it would make a real difference.
And what were your immediate thoughts after having the brace fitted?
I couldn't believe it actually, I was quite astounded. The fact that I actually walked up the flight of stairs in the hospital as if how I should have been walking is the easiest way. I haven't walked like that for the last 20 years.
And since having the brace, how are your pain levels now?
I don't take the tablets, is a simple thing, unless I do something extreme and it's a little bit too far. And the way I'd explain that is that if I take the brace off when I'm at home and I forget, oh, I'm just doing a few things around the house and my knee may then hurt, I may take one just to help me sleep. But in general, I haven't had a repeat prescription for a long time.
Since having the brace, how's that impacted your exercise level, your quality of life with everyday function?
It has improved my quality of life. I have a dog. Walking the dog, I can now walk 3 or 4 miles quite happily. Around the house, my house is a Victorian house, lots of steps. Get around the house quite easily, etc. And the biggest thing is going to work. I know that I can go to work, and my lifestyle at work is better. In relation to fitness and exercise, it's allowed me to do a bit more, reducing my body weight, which then obviously reduces the pressure on my knee. But it's just been active. I've been able to get active again, which has been a godsend.
It is going to bend. I'm scared to bend it, but it is going to bend.
Pain?
No.
It's good, isn't it?
Yes.
Test for me will be the stairs.
Okay.
Let's see what you like with the stairs. So when you had the brace fitted, how did you find the pain levels?
They gradually faded. The ache at night went. If you did a lot on it, then yeah, you got a bit of an ache, but it was nowhere near as bad as before. So yeah, basically pain levels went down. And at the time, I was actually doing quite a lot of work on the house because we flooded. So I was shifting soil and rubble and whatever, and the excess weight seemed to go through the brace and not my knee.
Has the brace met your initial expectations?
I would have said it's probably surpassed them, because I thought it would just sort of ease it off, but I didn't think it would stop the deterioration. Now I had 12 months of the brace wearing and went back to the hospital because I was on a 12-monthly, and they said, okay, well, keep wearing the brace. So I went back another 12 months after that, and they said, okay, we'll take another x-ray. And the actual deterioration in the joint was no worse than it was when I first had it done.